Got it. Mute out. Um, okay. How's everybody doing? Welcome. We're live there, live here. Oh man. Okay, quick story. I normally go to bed like 10, 9:30, 10. I went to the Def Leppard, Steve Miller, and Journey concert. And the tickets that we got, we were like in row 6 in the pit. Amazing. Such an amazing concert. I don't think I would ever go to another concert again and go up in the seats to see them and high five them. That was crazy. Anyway, I felt like I was a kid in high school again, with the music. And even though it wasn't Steve Perry, for the lead singer for Journey, it was still an amazing show. That little Filipino dude, he nails Steve's voice. I mean, obviously it's his own voice, but he nails Steve's voice. So we had a great time, but I fell asleep in my chair, 6th row, like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I was tired, man. I've just been putting in the long hours, and everybody's cracking, doing selfies with me. And I'm like, well, whatever. Anyway, um, I don't care. I don't care. Bring it. I told him, I said, I need all your cameras and your cell phones. And if I don't get them in the next 24 hours with all the pictures released, you will have my fee schedule. And everybody's cracking up. But yeah, dude, I was tired. Ended up walking out. This stadium was amazing. It's the biggest stadium I've ever been in. Just amazing. And SoFi Stadium, um, unreal. Just the whole thing was pretty cool. I've never been there before. I don't think I've been to a concert, but more than maybe 3 times in my whole life. So I was like in awe. And I welcome everybody. I appreciate guys coming to the show on Q&A. We do the questions on the living in a private. I do just want to preempt, guys. And because I know there's a lot of people out there that really don't understand what we do. And there's so we try to do these every other Monday at 4 p.m. and explain to people what living in the private is. And so if you guys got questions, load them up in the Q&A as you already are. And so Don. And so don't sweat. Um, don't sweat coming out. A lot of people think I'm gonna lose my status, I'm gonna lose my position. No, all you're doing is quitting a company. And that's really what you have to equate it to. People are living in fear about the IRS, and they're just another company. And the DMV is another company. These are all public franchises that you have an opportunity to quit. So don't be operating in that fear. But in the last 3 weeks, uh, I want to explain something because I need you to really get your mind wrapped around voting with your dollars. Because as you know, I tell you, stop. Don't pay another dime to the whore, meaning anything that you can to stop paying on the taxes, putting yourself in a different jurisdiction, removing the element of the only reason why the IRS has jurisdiction over you is because we don't know that there's a revocation, because we don't know that you can remove your signature on documents, you can change your status. So you don't need to work for the IRS as a taxpayer anymore. You don't need to work for the DMV as a driver anymore. You don't need to work for the county as a voter. Those are all job positions. So is the U.S. citizen. So you're not giving up status or standing to come out. People think you're giving up something. You're actually quitting a company and coming under proper jurisdiction as to what they always said you were. And so those are things that I need you guys to get your minds wrapped around. If you guys have a question, just post it in the Q&A. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking. I got to be off at 5. So I don't think I'm gonna be taking live questions tonight. But I want to get into the element of voting with your dollars. We just came out with a private, not public, insurance coverage, meaning it's not insurance, it's health coverage for people kind of like old church style, Amish style, but it literally provides a real card with real coverage. And and the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I want you guys to get out to your companies, to get out to the pharmaceuticals and the insurance companies and the banks are ruling this world. And if you don't stop paying into systems and structures that are allowing for babies to be mutilated, allowing for children to be ripped, have their body parts ripped off because somebody convinced them that they're actually a girl when they're not. You know, that's what Blue Cross Blue Shield, I'm saying it. This is what they tout and their online presence is how they are help gender affirming care. I mean, these stupid ideologies that make no sense to you and me, to people with a crazy set of words called common sense. And so why is this important? Because the whole world is about to do a shift in every element of everything that you've ever thought. The financial system, well, it's also the insurance system. And these companies, like insurance companies, were coming up on a renewal where you have to do this. I forget what it's called, where you have to automatically renew, and you're locked in for a year. You actually have an opportunity right now to not only be private with your own health coverage at about a third of the cost of normal insurance, but go to any doctor. Um, the amount of benefits that this private company offers is really big. And so I keep mentioning this because there's a lot of people out there that don't understand in a couple of years. And I just showed this to you guys last week or on Sunday. They're going to go after your public side things first to make sure that you take the digital ID, the mark. They're going to come after the things that you think are important, like your health insurance. So right now, you don't want insurance. You want health coverage the way that it was done in a Christian community where we all pony up. But this company has a technology, guys, that is unlike any company. They'll take on any doctor, and you're allowed to go to specialists without getting a referral. You can any doctor is a party to the network. Um, the coverage is amazing. You get one doctor visit a year, and one full blood panel a year. You get unlimited phone doctors like that, telemedicine, unlimited. You get 50 chiropractic visits. Now, who in their right mind pays, on on the premises of letting you go to a chiropractor and having that be a party to the plan, at a third of the cost? How? Because it's direct marketing, yes, but it's also private, not public. And so the patent that they have is this: if a hospital bill comes for $500,000, they automatically price it down to about 5% of the actual cost of the bill to an industry conforming standard for a 501c3 for a nonprofit, which is what they are. And so you're watching these bills get dramatically immediately cut down, and then the hospital's paid within 16 days. And they're using technology and a patent that makes the connection, makes the contract, makes the agreement, and pays instantly. And so the hospitals are paid and they're not waiting 12, 18 months and they're getting write-offs because it's a 501c3. You understand? So that technology is a give on both sides. And it allows for you to have a super inexpensive health coverage where you can see any doctor anywhere in the world at a third of the cost. Now, tell me, there's no other company like this that has these technologies, that has these patents on the face of the earth, except this one. And we're what's known as an independent business organization underneath them. So what we're doing is we're making alliances with people out there. And I can't say all the tactics that we're doing, but we're going to be offering people the ability to use their channel to come onto our network and use their existing outlets, YouTube, whatever they are, whatever their social media is. And we're going to give them contracts that are going to allow for them to be able to make a residual income that goes past YouTube. What is everybody scared of? They're scared of losing their presence. HISAdvocates TV is going to fulfill their presence. and they're scared of losing their income. HISAdvocates TV is going to help. HISAdvocates is going to help them preserve their income. So instead of just looking for the monetary clicks or the monetary watches and monetary views, their entire product line is going to be based on private side living. And they're going to get a channel over on HISAdvocates TV. So what we're doing is we're, because we created a private network and because we have the ability to be on pretty much every TV in the world, we're giving people the safety net to come out and be out of that public system while still creating an ad revenue for themselves, even if they were to be clipped from YouTube in the future. Because you can't say almost anything anymore on YouTube without getting your hair clipped or what have you. There's a lot of people that have millions of subscribers on YouTube and they're not monetizable anymore. And so they haven't gotten a payment. So this is a true solution. So if you guys have friends or family on YouTube and they want a channel on our network and they want to work with us, we're turning on our first major account on Friday. Now we've already given about 70 jobs out, 70 IBOs out in as HISAdvocates in the last 3 weeks. What this is going to do, it's going to revolutionize your income like you've never seen before. And what you're doing is allowing for people to move their payment streams into something that they align with and that now is affordable. And so they don't have to worry. And this company does not affirm the RMV. They don't affirm the gender care or abortions. This company is a Christian organization and affirms with your values. And so we need to get that word out. Start voting with your dollars. If Target is putting up a bunch of rainbow paraphernalia and that you don't agree with or whatever, stop shopping at Target. If Bud Light has got a transgender guy, stop drinking Bud Light. If Disney is coming out with a stupid movie where boys are having crushes on each other, don't go to that movie, okay? Don't promote it. Don't talk about it. You start voting with your dollars. They listen when it comes to dollars. And so we're going to be moving every element. And here's the greatest thing in the world is this company is a 30-year-old company. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're a Fortune 500 company. So we're not just sitting there. Then they acquire these different companies out there that helps people, in this coming crisis that's happening. I keep beating the subject matter up because I have to. Sometimes it takes you to hear it 30 times before you go, oh, okay, I get it. And it's okay. But in this next flip, in the next couple years, whenever it is, this next big crisis, this next big collapse, this next changeover from fiat into digital currency, this next flip, guess what? They're not going to be able to touch you if you have an income stream that is tied to people's everyday use of their products, where you're introducing somebody to the ability to have health coverage at a third of the cost or half the cost, where they can have 8 family members and they only have to pay for the first kid. Anything beyond the first kid is included automatically in the plan, where they have one deductible. It's called a PRA for the entire family, instead of one deductible per family member. It's literally the most ingenious opportunity for truly a private side, health insurance, quasi insurance or coverage. We call it health coverage because it's not an insurance company. So we no longer are voting with our dollars to companies that are mutilating children every day. You will be judged. Because if you don't know these things and then you find out and you don't make a direct change to what you're putting your money towards, you are complicit in the sin or complicit in that crime. And it is a crime in God's eyes. So everything that we do is to move away from the structures that are demonic all over this world and move into these private side structures directly under God. That's why I like the fact that it is a Christian organization. I like to vote with my dollars. But now imagine this. Some of you guys, and I'm looking at your names right now, and you know who I'm talking to. Some of you guys have connections with major dudes out there. Imagine if you're an IBO and all you have to do is throw a lead to somebody that They have a conversation with the CEO. They have a conversation with these whales that are out there for you to talk about and introduce private site coverage, and you get 1,000 people. Do you know what 1,000 people, like a big company or say a small one, 100 people, that's $4,000 a month referral income to you. 4,000, 0, 0, 0, month in, month out for the rest of your life. You get it? Now, if you get 1,000, that's 40 grand a month in, month out for referring one company with 1,000 employees. I want you to think about that. There's huge chiropractic opportunities. There's huge, where they go get a sign and they have a barcode on the sign and it's insurance for the people that are coming in already paying in cash. You know what I'm saying? And they also have insurance and they're paying for that. So hit the barcode, put in their age, 3 people in their family, click submit, price of insurance, a third of the cost. The doctor says, okay, I got your name and number. I'm going to send you a video and a link, which is what I'm doing. And people are signing up for insurance directly under HISAdvocates. They're either a customer or they're an IBO, but we're affecting change. We're literally dragging people over from a demonic realm into the light with their dollars. And they're literally saving in families of 4, listen, that are in Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're getting better coverage and saving $12,000 a year. Who doesn't want to hear from you when you're doing that? That means every family and every friend that you have are intrigued about what you're offering. Every one of them. And we're coming up to this mark in November where we have to gain momentum and get in front of you may know who runs a chiropractic association that has thousands of chiropractors under it. Let me tell you, they would be perfect. Why? Because they would just make a simple introduction. We would show up at one of their events, do a live presentation. They can have a sign for $60 that stand in their office, maybe 100 or 200 if they want to make a really nice one. They can have business cards for $20. They scan the business card, boom, they got an insurance card. So guess what? A chiropractor has a client for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 visits on average until you finally realize you need one every week. I go to a chiropractor every week and I have for years. Now I'm turning our chiropractic offices that we go to into places that are converting people into private health coverage, and they're gaining a lifetime client. So the guy comes in and explains all the benefits right there on the sign. They click the barcode. The price is unreal. They watch a video if they need to, or they sign up on the spot. Now you got a chiropractor with 100 clients making another 4,000 a month. And those people that are signing up are hearing about business hop. And guess what's happening in the next couple of years, next 4 or 5 years? What's changing? AI is changing. A complete shift and downsloping of this nation as you know it. What are people going to hang on to? Their health insurance, their cell phone, which this company offers cheaper, their cable, their internet. They're the largest producer of all the stuff that we use on a day-to gas, electricity, cell, home phone service, internet, all of those things, including ID protection. We're doing a show on ID protection for people that think that that's important. It's kind of important being that 2.7 billion people supposedly got breached. Yeah, how's that? How's that even possible? But this is really going to be a game changer because, guys, even the people on the streets that are homeless have a cell phone. This company offers that service and generally beating everybody's rates out there. And guess what? Now you have a free cell phone. You go sign up 5 cell phones, your cell phone's free, and you're making money on residuals. Come on. Come on. So you get to do what? You get to help people in a crisis and make money. And you bulletproof your family. You put even 100 customers, 200 customers, 300 customers, and it just keeps growing over time. You bulletproof your family with that residual income. And that's really what we're bringing to another level for HISAdvocates members, as we're trying to qualify them to help them through a financial crisis, which is imminent. I think everybody agrees it's imminent. So let's go to the Q&A. First question from Don. What's up, buddy? We're at the beginning stage where we're sending out letters to our vendors, and hubby needs to renew license plates tabs in September and me in November. Should we continue on as normal until we finalize? You're always going to renew your tabs, because you don't own that car, they do. So don't think you're not going to, we're not doing sovereign citizen mentality stuff. We're being smart. If it were me, I'd put the car in a different state, meaning cars here, license plate is in from either Montana or South Dakota, because you're not paying for the same rate of tabs. And like some states, they want you to be taxed on everything you own, including your chickens. They want every single, well, so if that's the case, let's put the vehicles in another state. And that's how you get out of that state taxing you on every single thing that you own. But no, you're just going to renew them. And should we continue as normal until we finish the LPP or renew them in one of the states? Yes, 100%. Just renew them. Don't let your wife drive around without plates and have some law enforcement officer think he knows more about the law than you do, and treat her like a second class citizen. Don't do it. Just until they say you have to get this so that you can have this, we're not gonna we're gonna play wise as a serpent, soft as a dove, and we're gonna be smarter than them. And that's all we're doing at HISAdvocates. Next question. My LPP IRS docs don't have non-assumptive statements. Should I add it or include it on my autograph line? That's a good question. Really, the documents that we're creating for you don't really have that need, but there are some documents that we haven't brought across where we make every line with the line of a reservation. I would always, just out of safety reasons, add it. So grab them from another document, put them on there. But let me go back to your ticket and let me make a notation of that on your ticket. So I want to look at specifically which document, because we have hundreds of documents. Not everybody's the same. And the IRS docs are not the same for everybody. So we have to look and see which ones we need to conform to being a standard across the board. So I appreciate it. Next question. Hello, I am waiting on my support ticket for court assistance reference to help fight misdemeanors. Yes, to your answer, that was the one that we had referred you. Was there a problem with that one, Landon? Because he does need to get paid, but he's not a part of our ministry. But he is very good at what he does, and I can give you another name and number if you need one. Just let me know. I have a B of A account, foundation, bank account with B of A. Yeah. What's the step to remove my personal signature info so the foundation takes over? Not sure I understand your question. Personal signature info so the foundation takes over. You mean from the bank? You can't. At Bank of America, how it happens when you open up a foundation account, you have a personal account reference, meaning they take the name and the social just to, and not all banks take socials, by the way, but the way that you structure this is the profile is where it sits. The account is over here. And how you tell whether or not you have any accounts, like you close your personal account at B of A if you have one, and then you go to their automated line system and then you put in your social security and say no accounts found. That's how you know this account is not attached to this social. And don't worry, even if you have a social, this type of an account is not able to be penetrated because they don't have jurisdiction over it. And the name on the account is the name of the foundation and it's private, not public. Hope that helps. Are there LPP docs to remove signatures from marriage and divorce certificates? Yes, there is. Not divorce certificates. That's already done. You don't need to worry about that. If so, do I request them via my ticket? Yeah, you do. Renew them in Michigan or Montana or South Dakota. If it were me, it depends on what you have, but South Dakota is the easiest. And I have multiple South Dakota plates. And all you have to do is ask for the information on your ticket and they'll attach. The guy's name is Bruce. Anybody that has a need. He's very helpful. You get a mailbox, it's an annual cost. And then you are able to transfer vehicles over. They help you with the paperwork, and everything goes in the name of the foundation. What happens when the only option for signing an application online versus paper CCW renewal in California? What happens when the only option for signing an application is online versus paper? That's fine. Remember, your whatever you're doing online, whatever you're doing with somebody in the past where you did an application, at the end of the LPP process, we give you a document that you can mail, certified mail to these people, just appending to the original application. And it's not an obvious document. We're just letting them know, hey, look, I saw in the original online application dated that you had an option for United States. And I just want you to know I am so proud of my citizenship here in the United States of America and in California as a California citizen that I'm just asking that you affix this as a permanent record and annex it to my application. Thank you. God bless. Have a great day. And so you can mail that to as many people as you need to correct the record of an application. We were planning on renewing for sure, just not where. Should we renew license tab in our current state of Michigan or Montana, South Dakota? Depends how lazy you want to be. If you're a get crap done couple, then just do it, move it. In South Dakota, you may want to look into Montana. I don't have a contact in Montana, but there's a bunch of people that do my eyes are super dry, guys. Sorry. There's a bunch of people that do by the way, when you do wavefront surgery and you get the laser done on your eyes, they don't tell you you're gonna have dry eyes for the rest of your life. They do not do full disclosure, but I have perfect vision, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Anyway, Montana, there's something about Montana that is very likable. If a car is over 10 years old, you can buy a permanent life plate and you're not spending annualized. So Montana, there's some reasons why you may want to go there. South Dakota, I like the convenience. I like the fact that you can, these guys in South Dakota, you can actually go get a South Dakota driver's license. They'll help you with that. They'll tell you how to get that done, or South Dakota ID. Some people think that they need to have these extra things, and they also have services. There's also online mailboxes that you can choose and get services where if they see something important, they take a picture, show it to you. You can say, open this one, and they'll open it, scan it, and show it to you, and you can have it all forwarded or whatever. But there's online services are very helpful. You want to make sure everything that's coming to you is always in your foundation name and care of, and where your name is not on the envelope. That's an important thing. So hopefully that helps. How do you document donation from your personal bank account funds or entity funds to your foundation bank account? You just do the transfer and then give yourself a receipt from the foundation with the tax ID number. Thank you for your contribution, not donation. Thank you for your contribution. Then you can take the deduction on the private side of anything donated to the foundation and just submit that to the accounting. Okay. That's pretty cool. Got about 55 people between YouTube and here. Any questions on YouTube side? I don't see where the comments are on the YouTube side. For some reason, I'm doing a refresh. Hold on. No, it's not doing it. Comments are not up on the. Let me open it up a little wider. Nope. Hey guys, I don't see any comments on the YouTube side, so my apologies about not being able to answer your questions over there. Next question. Please remind me of the avenues HISA provides that I can ask specific questions that I may be faster than my ticket or in between these great Q&As. I appreciate that. We have now a couple of people working on the tickets, total of 3. I have been glancing over tickets a lot less lately because I am relying on a couple of really smart guys to assist people. So if you're not getting a question answered on a ticket and it's important, shoot them a text. Every single person at this company has their own phone line that is attached to an online app, so you can text them. The back office line is not easily seen. Hold on. So if you want to get a quick, just say, please review my ticket real quick. But I'm going to guarantee you guys might be a little embarrassed at yourself. There may be an answer in there, or there may be something you needed to do and didn't do, and you should have done, which is fine. So you can text 714-983-9004. I want to put it to you here. Everyone, let me make sure everyone can post in the comments. My apologies about not opening up comments. And don't text us, say, because you just posted something. If you really need to get something answered now, just do this. Text 714-983-9004. And then we'll jump on to that for you and make sure that we get a response. But just understand, we might be looking for something from you we haven't gotten yet, and you're not reading posts that are above that or whatever. And also understand that a lot of people will be like, how come I'm never getting my posts answered? But they keep asking another question every 3 hours. And what that does is every new question puts you in the back of the line for posts. So make sure you get your questions organized on a daily basis, put it in there and ask your questions, and then we'll respond to every question. Next question. What do you say to a cop if you ask me why I have a California DL but driving a car from San Diego? I do not answer questions. Thank you. State of California Franchise Tax Board wants to see my 2021 return. I never filed one. Okay. I ignored the notice. And they sent me another saying I owe $29,000. I traded crypto in 2021, but only made $8,000. They are taxing me based on every trade that I made, not on the outcome. I was ignorant about trading. That is my part. I do not want to file a return. However, I don't have the knowledge to fight. Should I respond to this notice or not respond? So that's a great question. So I don't know whether you're out or not because you're anonymous. So I'm going to have to presume you're not out, and you need to file returns. As trustee of the trust, you need to file returns. The trust is the BC, you're the trustee. So every BC, by giving a 1040 or a state equivalent, is honoring their job as a taxpayer that they said they would do, and they are not. Whether you filled out something, first and foremost, there is no legislation on crypto trading at all right now. It is not income. Income is anything on a W-4 or a W-9 or something you agree to in a company. Income is not considered a crypto trading account, even though you've made or lost money. It's just not. So don't worry about that. But when you file a return, you're letting them cash the check. And I'm not saying you are giving them a check. The return itself is a bill of exchange. It is an instrument, so they can cash and set the debt off. And that's why they always talk in those terms. We are going to set this debt off. And they didn't say charge it off. They didn't say, which means it's a form of payment to them. So when you give them a 1040 signed, that is a cashable check with whatever is on there. That doesn't mean you need to pay them. Now, if you're trying to gain and maintain your credit, you may want to consider not paying them, but learning about what it means to be an employee of the United States. And under IRS code, for any agency to lien on you, like the IRS, they need to prove that you're an employee of the United States. And that's why one of the things that we do in our process is a proof of non-employment with the United States. But some of you are postal workers, federal agents, cops, whatever. It doesn't mean if you're a cop or you work at the DOJ, that doesn't mean you're an employee of the United States. It means you're an employee of the Department of Justice. So that's different. So the proof of non-employment with the United States would still work in those cases because they need to, before they file a lien, prove that you are an employee of the United States. And so we've gotten liens off houses, garnishments, all kinds of things before with this tactic. But just getting it filed, nobody ever gets in trouble for filing something and not paying. They get in trouble for not filing and not paying. It's generally the not filing thing. If I were to process my taxes with an accepted for value along with the other paperwork involved, is it acceptable to send over a payment with the 1040V? I don't want to get into setting off debt. I don't do that publicly, and I don't do that privately. Accepted for value is probably the easiest medium of an exchange that you can have because it's not a monetary instrument that can bring a charge instrument under a color of law indictment. So if it were me, the only thing that I would do is, but there's another thing that you have to do with an accepted for value that a lot of people are not doing, and it involves a UCC1. And there's a lady out there teaching it. Supposedly she's having 100% success on accepted for value, but I don't personally tell people ever, you know, go down that element, go down that road. When you're giving a 1040, they're getting paid. They're able to now cash the check. And, a lot of times, when people are trying to set debt off, the easiest is like the IRS by far. But there's an element that needs to happen now that a lot of people are not doing, and that's what I was talking about with that lady. But again, gray vest, I can't publicly be involved in dealing with that because to me, it's a personal thing of people still operating in the whore or in the system. And so I know people that perfect purchasing homes and discharging the debt and transferring into foundations, but I still don't do it. But I know people that have perfected the process. And so I kind of want to steer clear of utilizing the Treasury direct account, the Treasury, because there is an account attached to your Social Security that is being monetized using the birth bond, the birth certificate, as the form of income stream that is coming through BlackRock, State Street, and all these major companies, where the U.S. is guaranteeing a return of X, and where they are playing into it and allowing for people to invest in their company, and getting these returns of 15%, 25% per month. But you're to me, you're placating to the whore. You know what I mean? I'm getting mail to my private mail with my name on it. And the next line, care of the foundation. Is that okay? No, it is, but no. And we're talking layers of Kevlar, Eddie. Are they able to say Eddie receives personal mail at such and such address, even though it says in care of? It's not personal mail, but is Eddie's name on the envelope? They say, I've seen Eddie's name. He can attest to seeing Eddie's name on an envelope, even though it's not personal mail. So you're not holding the office of the person technically, and that's why it's been condoned in the past for people that have issues, but there's no reason why you can't get your name off. And here's the worst case scenario, Eddie, is you just put another member speaking on your behalf on that bill and just make it a fake name, John Dwayne, Eddie Munster, whatever, and put a fake name on there. And that's another thing, by the way, not only are the cell phones services that we are now offering at HISAdvocates cheaper than any other providers that are out there, they do not require a social. It's not a personal account. So what I did was on my side, I put HISAdvocates as the name, and on the billing, I put my name for the card. And no social, no tax ID number, nothing. This is the only company that's out there. And imagine being able to go out and provide a better class of service with T-Mobile as the back. It's the largest mobile provider in the nation, and where you are getting a financial credit from that transaction for the rest of your life. That's why we're moving. We're starting to make appointments with all of our members. It doesn't matter whether you want to sell this. It's let us help you get discounts, and then you're going to help our ministry for life. So we're working with people on their whatever, their travel, their ID protection, whatever. Those are luxuries, but for sure, their gas, their electric, their cell phones, their cable bill, their health insurance coverage. Those are the things that we're really pushing to help members gain a financial advantage from what their current situation is. And I had a member, hilarious. He's probably on. Don't think I'm putting you down right now, guy, but he's like, my cell phone provider is so much cheaper than it was like, I'm like, dude, yeah. And he named the cell phone provider. I'm not going to say the name. And it wasn't so much cheaper, but the guy couldn't make it get connected. He's like, man, I have not been able to make a phone call. And so as he's telling me about how great this dollar amount of money he's saving, I'm like, but you can't make a phone. You can't make a call. You're not able to receive an email. And so I am like texting him back. Yeah, but the entire conference, I had to email you everything because you couldn't receive a text. I go, how is that helpful? To have that kind of service that, you're getting a discount. That's kind of like, what was that one service? You paid $1 amount for life. And oh God, I forget the name. And it was a phone number that, something Jack. Oh God, I forget the name. Anyway, hilarious. Next question. Is there an LPP document to use as a rental agreement? I've done my asset transfer, including this property. Is that enough? So if you're in the LPP and you need help with a rental agreement for a property that is renting out to somebody else, yeah, go ahead in the back office and ask for that. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Thank you. How do we know when we are out, completely out? Well, you're out the day you file your passport document. You've put them on notice. What we're doing in the back end with the entire LPP is we're cleaning up all the adhesion contracts to match what you've done in the private with the DOS. So technically, the day you make that initial statement with the DOS, that's the start of the journey. When you're completely out is when you've done your notices after you file your active state. Hold on one second. Yeah. At what point in the living in a private do I give my work a W-8 BEN? Well, you don't need to necessarily do a W-8 BEN per se, but yeah, you can do it after your IRS paperwork is filed. My certified letter for proof of non-employment was delivered 8/15/24. I've had no response. What's the next step? Patience. Patience is the next step. When you finish the LPP program and get out of the public, including a driver's license, passport, marriage certificate, etc., are concealed carry and medical licenses relinquished too? No. But let me help you with the renewals and the notices. When writing Cara Foundation, do we have to include the word foundation? No. Just don't want your name on it. The mail came from the SSA this morning. Is there a question there? Or is that relating to something you asked previously and I don't remember? Sorry. What happens if already drawing SS and are on Aetna Medicare insurance? Nothing. Constructive notice. That's it. At the end of the LPP, we help you with constructive notice letters. Private mailboxes here in Oregon require ID to prove that is your name. Yeah. You need ID to get around. That's normal. Doesn't mean that you're contracted. Looking at buying a property soon, would you mention where to look for resources on titling? Hmm. That's a great question. If you're paying cash, you control the transaction, and titling can be controlled and the deed can be controlled. If you are, if you are, um, getting a loan with, any major bank, you don't control the way they record the deed. You don't control the transaction for titling, nothing. However, you can control it after the fact, and we kind of talk about that, teach on that for people that are coming out. So Teresa like that. No loan. So if you have no loan and you want us to do your deed, we charge $4.95 for it. If you're in the living in the private program, just ask for a copy of a deed, and we'll give you a clean deed and tell you what to do. The differences of the deed are very important. So you want to make sure you're doing it the old school style, by gold, by hand, foundation name, meets and bounds, fee simple, and you're doing a grantee signature. You always want to accept that deed on the deed when you're doing it. So we'll provide you a copy of the deed and you just insert all the information and then you can go down and get it recorded. Cool. All right, man. That's all the questions so far. Two más, dos más. Trying to learn Spanish in Mandarin. I was talking about receiving my mail and my name to the private box. The SSA sent me a letter with your name. Got it. So Social Security Administration generally, they those are governmental agencies. So what I do when somebody just refuses to conform is you got to give them an address to which you can control entirely. So if you're at a post office box and they don't do exactly what you say, like return to sender, no such person exists, or open it up and take a picture, return to sender, no such person exists, then you call them up and say, hey, look, I'm now going to be traveling. I need you to make sure all mail comes to my email, and that's it. Or find a service that you can contract with, controlling the contract, like a UPS store. You're controlling the contract there. But there's options that are like next level, and there's services out there that can next level, but it's expensive because they scan your email. And they don't require the same things everybody else does, meaning the 1583 and different things. I know of a guy opening up a truly private mailbox service for people in his town. And he's not going to play the games with the 1583 with his clients. So, maybe some of you guys got to consider doing that for other people. Open up a service and figure out how to receive personal mail for and on behalf of your community. But the goal, no mail in the name. When sending our letter to our vendors, does that include my place of employment mortgage? And you mean the letter at the very end of the LPP? It could. It doesn't need to necessarily, because it's not necessarily an agreement. Like a mortgage is a trust. It's a single-sided trust agreement. Place of employment, you're going to be giving them a notice and a change to either a W-8-BEN to W-4T or revised W-4 that we give you. My name on the foundation, my name and the foundation on it. Is that okay? How do I send it back? Open it up, take a picture, send it back. No such person exists. Then that way you know what's on there, and they're going to either call you to figure out why something got returned and say, you know what, I'm just email me from now on. I'm having problems with the post office, whatever, you know, but at least you know what you received in the mail and you send it back. If I'm preparing to sell my primary dwelling, is there work that can be done to mitigate any taxes related to that sale? Yeah. Um, the property per se were to be owned by a foundation, the foundation has no capital gains requirement. However, the transfer value of that property would need to be done in a donation form or a contribution form to the foundation, and the equity would be considered a deductible amount. Now, um, there are attorneys out there that would tell you um, that the foundation is an alter ego of you, but there is absolutely no proof of that. Number one, there would be no way to pull the foundation into court. Number two, number three, they're just upset because the foundation is tax exempt and you still get the contribution deduction. Um, but guys, look, you hear about this all the time, and they call it a philanthropist, like Bill Gates. Bill Gates donated billions of dollars to his own foundation. What a king. What a godly man. He's doing the same principle, just at much larger scale. Why is it acceptable for him and not for you? Just answer yourself that question. Is there a special way to send my vendor letter to my condo association? I'm a board member of that association as well. Why would you need to send it to the condo association? Don't worry about that. They're not a creditor-based contract. You know what I mean? Transfer assets after filling in my info, replacing red text, etc. on the LPP documents. What do I do with it after that? Transfer of assets. It's going to ultimately go as a copy into the foundation documents. You may have some titles to work on, but it's also going to go into your active state and with the fee schedule, that if any of that property is touched for any reason, this is what your fees are. When sending a letter to vendors, does this include my place of employment mortgage? Not the end of the LPP, the vendor's letters at the beginning of the LPP for the private mailbox. Oh, you're just noticing them of the change of please make sure all mail comes in the name of the foundation. That's all you're doing with all your vendors. Please send mail in this foundation name only. Do not put this name. And again, Don, if they can't help but to put a name on there, make up a name and get your name off that account. That's all you have to do. All right. Guys, I'm going to prepare for another meeting, 8 minutes away. God bless. If you want to hear about the health insurance, hear about any of getting discounts on your home services or whatever, if you're looking for an income opportunity and to have another source of passive revenue for yourself, go to our site, let us know. We'll absolutely help you out. You guys are beautiful people. Remember, say this 100 times a day. I am Kelby Smith, and only good things happen to me. Only use your name. I am your name, and only good things happen to me. Say that 100 times a day. Watch your life change in a couple of weeks. God bless. Have a great day.